I read
You lost control early, Joe.
I guess.
I read to you how a civilized, rational GLer thinks about Charlie Kirk. That was Katie Tierney. Beautiful, beautiful sentiments. Here's how you don't. This fellow is employed, meaning you're paying for him, at Mankato State University. His name is Kevin Parsno. He referred to Kirk as a POS who died of the violence he promoted happening to others, and praised the Vikings for ignoring that racist POS. See, that's not the way Katie would have gone about it.
Yeah.
That's not the way a rational person
Different
deals with it.
perspective.
Mankato State University has responded after one of its professors, this is from Alpha, again made inflammatory comments on social media. He's a political science professor, Kevin Parsno. He referred to Kirk as a POS. Kirk was assassinated, we know that. Okay. However, many have responded to Kirk's death with disgusting comments, vile sentiments, and other egregious displays. Some of those behaviors resulted in people being suspended or fired from their jobs. Maybe not this guy, though. In a statement to Alpha, Minnesota State University Mankato said the school does not endorse views expressed by employees on their personal social media accounts. At Minnesota State Mankato, our core values include integrity and respect in the way we conduct ourselves and responsibility to those we serve by providing an education that inspires solutions to society's challenges. What that doesn't stop us from hiring these foul characters who work in the political science department. No, I added that.
Oh, that's you.
We uphold our values and our responsibility as public educators to promote a free exchange of ideas. Well, this Parsano has no ideas. He just has some diatribes. Well, in fact, he has no ideas. That's the problem with the failed academy. What could you possibly learn from him? What could you possibly learn attending this fool's classes?
Nothing.
He's a nitwit. We uphold our values and our responsibility. Okay. Thank you, Mankato. That's great. All university, boy, the statement's a long one. All university faculty, staff, and students are expected to uphold these values in the course of their work. Well, he doesn't. Of course, as U.S. citizens and part of a public institution of higher education, now you're a failed academy. We respect the rights and privileges afforded by the Constitution, including the First Amendment rights protecting the freedom of speech. Now, you could fire him, Mankato, and he wouldn't lose his freedom of speech. You could just disassociate yourself from him. Nothing would stop him from standing on the corner and saying this. Parsano's recent comments are not the first time his words have drawn attention. Last year, Republican Congressman Brad Finstad called for Parsano's resignation after the professor talked about the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. You want to know what he said about the death of Brian Thompson?
Do I want to?
In that case, Parsno replied to a post about the killing by writing, "It's going to be disappointing if he's a one-off killer instead of a serial killer."
Oh, God.
You can fire this asshole.
Yeah.
You can just fire him.
Yeah.
Joey also said, how long do we really need to look for his killer? Is today good enough, or do they need to look tomorrow?
Well,
did you see his excuse?
The professor later told Alpha News, "My comment was meant to reflect the tone of the question posed by a friend on social media." Well,
we don't know
it's
that.
utter nonsense.
He also blamed the Vikings game against Atlanta. Did you see that? He said he was frustrated
I didn't see
by the
that.
result.
You got to be kidding me.
Parsno confirmed in a phone call Monday. He wrote the post, said he was frustrated after watching the Vikings lose to the Falcons.
So that was last year.
That was no Charlie Kirk.
No, that was game
Charlie
number 2.
Kirk.
A week
That was
ago
Charlie
Sunday.
Kirk.
Oh, a week ago Sunday. This is in reference to the Kirk post.
Correct.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's what you get. And we're paying for this guy. We pay his salary as taxpayers. And
the Packers lost Sunday. Wait till you see what I post.
Yeah, what did you post, John? You're a hardcore Packer fan.
Isn't that something, though? That's the failed academy.
Ugh.
What could you possibly learn from someone like this? We now know his bias. We now know his ideology.
Right.
We now know his thinking. We now know how he must entered the classroom with these kinds of thoughts in his mind, how could you possibly be useful to anyone? Certainly not in a balanced sense.
No.
That's what I was going to bring up. So he's a political science professor?
Yeah, which is troubling to me because I think that's one of those classes you can't flunk.
But I was given to understand that you're learning the science of politics, and it sounds to me like he's just lobbying for one side.
Well, of course he is. He's in the failed academy. He's not useful. He's just not useful. Kevin, you get up every morning and you're not useful. And the school apparently is comfortable with saying, well, those are his thoughts. They don't reflect the school. So therefore, I would imagine this fellow is still getting paid. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. So you have the Katie Tierney way of handling this, or the Kevin Barsnow.
I like the KT.
If that's how you pronounce his name, I'm unclear.
The founding fathers certainly didn't anticipate social media, did they?
They really didn't.
When they whip out their phones and they punch in on Instagram.
That's just a shame, though. It's just such a reinforcement of the idea that what a waste to attend school. If that's the case.
I just want to ask, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Is Viking game frustration now a plausible angle for all of us to take if we make an error
I got
on
over
social
it, and
media?
I was pretty upset.
Not for me.
How about me?
Well, for you.
You've come a long way. How about for Bob?
I would like to address a word to former Senator Nicole Mitchell.
We have breaking news, I believe.
Do you really? I'd like to hear
The
it.
party guest that just won't leave.
Unless Johnny had this coming up in his news.
I do have it in my news.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Well, tell us now. What did she get sentenced?
She's been sentenced to 6 months in jail.
180 days on work release in Ramsey County means she'll be confined for 6 months, but will be allowed to leave for work every day, then report back to the jail after her shift, and then she'll be on supervised probation for 5 years and received a stayed 21-month prison sentence. So if she violates the terms of all that, she would have to go to prison for 21 months.
But she's let out every day?
Every day for work.
Does she need a ride?
You know what I would say is, young lady, you've received every possible benefit known to the human race. You were caught, you know you did it, and then you began a series of receiving every possible benefit available. You used your stature to stay in the state Senate. You even voted for yourself to do so. You campaigned to have the trial delayed. You were successful. You've done everything possible to try to get yourself off the hook here, but you're guilty of first-degree burglary and the possession of burglary tools. I believe the trial was just as recently as just this past July, even though the crime was the previous year. You used every possible means to try to get a lighter sentence, to ask for understanding, and on and on and on and on. Young lady, this could have been over with last year. You'd already be done completely. The delay is all on you. You brought it on yourself. It's just a shame that it had to go on this long. In many cases, at great expense to the taxpayer, including paying your salary for another year, which you should not have served. A special election will be held for her seat November 4th. The primary for her seat was held on August 26th, won by Amanda Hemmingson-Jagger on the DFL ticket and Dwight Doro on the Republican side. I don't know why people in Woodbury will want to take a chance on another DFLer, but perhaps they will. But goodness gracious, what have we learned from her experience? More importantly, I wonder what she learned. I don't think she learned anything. She played every card she could come up with. Her lawyers played every card she could come up with. This all could have been done more than a year ago.
Right.
You could have been done. But no, we're going to drag it all out. And now she even has a sentence that allows her to leave jail every day and go to work. I don't know how she's employed. I don't know what she's employed. Does anyone? Staff? Anyone?
No.
No.
Anyone?
And that's why she wanted to stay
Could
in
somebody
because
look
she
that
wanted to
up?
extend her
Could
benefits.
somebody look that up?
Sure, I can look at
Anybody?
it. I don't think she's going to be doing weather.
I don't know. She was a former weather person.
There are some openings.
And then
She had a new job in the food service industry as of
Feeding our future.
Every perk, Joe. Every perk.
everything is food.
Every perk.
as of September 2025. So this month, apparently, she has a new job
In the food industry.
in the food industry, and that's all I'm finding at this point.
Wow. You know what? What a redemption story. She's going from career criminal
No,
to now
not,
she's
not career criminal.
allegedly to now she's going to feed starving kids.
We don't know that either.
Was she on any committees
Career.
for?
Wait a minute. She's not Ma
Yeah,
Barker,
career
Chris.
criminal.
Yeah,
It's
what are
a
you
talking
one-time
about?
deal.
You're way off the track.
Did she serve on any feeding committees?
No.
Yeah. Is
Stop.
that where she got her?
Stop the presses. We've said what we're going to say. She's
We're not going to say anymore.
that's right, Chris. We're not going to. This is an example of she certainly used her privilege.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Would it be white privilege or just as her privilege as a woman? I wonder.
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe it was her privilege as a white woman. And a state senator who was rallied around by her peers because they needed her vote. They have no character.
But they put their foot down once the session was over.
Right. Zero character. You got to really be careful who you vote for. But in this state, we're pretty excited about those leaves changing color.
Is it peeping season?
It's getting there. We're in for